This is Kessben 93.3 FM, a new wave of excellence in radio.
Kajangum na yenhwede odi ebreye dumienu na epegye ma breaking news and so atoaso. Okay.
You know, two teams and I see and I so tight at their mom. Now I had the major top flight leagues apart from England, France and Germany. So quietly na so Spain dia eboboso. Na a game I will be lose no. You find it very difficult say obetimi ababak. Until who Napoli losing to Como in the last game by 2-1. And the Inter Milan taking advantage of their game and almost ababe that top. So we check the last 3 games before the 5 Akonte boya. Now konya good results against AS Roma, Udinese and Lazio. But the last 5 games for team I friend and Napoli, the general team and maybe. And no na Shekonta man stretch called his favorite 3-back plan. Because injured bakum you know by. Now against Como experimented with Michel Politano as a right wing back. And you know, it never worked for him. Oko benchi Abrante Fen Andrew Zambo agrees as a man in rest. And Koyi and Farmer Antonio Conte. And Tianesa Washa was switching about Abrante Feno, Raspadori, and Romelu Lukaku up front in a 3-5-2 plan and a Conte Edirem. So here in Tambalan so on my bed league table on the first. And to see our own position on Mudina and say, Omo game Omo against Napoli no. The almost Omo ya and say Omo make sure at least Omo nye draw in that particular game. Atlanta be bad there, but at least Omo be comfortable at the very top. Unlike say Omo be lose game no against Napoli amaniema etimi ha Omo. Obianim say the Inter team is intact and it is a team so per quality, experience and everything I will be there from. Lautaro Martinez goes no. Marcos Thuram ye on and off. But so tienke free Italy ba. BBA chess Abrante friend Marcos Thuram. Ebe joining Abrante your friend Lautaro Martinez. Even Anatovic. Nekula on 10 game ribi mono so frechire ba. Who say edwuma omo bono den. The battles that what this particular game when they say Raspadori Romelu Lukaku as against Francesco Acerbi and Alessandro Bastoni. The 2 guys on the leading line for Napoli no. And the 3-back line of Inter Milan no. So 2 guys on you so effective within the back line no. And you ever heard the battles no said the name ever see at the Diego Armando Maradona stadium Napoli also again the midfield of Nicola Barella, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Herek Mkhitaryan as against Stanislav Lobotka, Abrante Fen Zambu Aguiza, and then Scott McTominay. And you have that battle on the BCI. Obiani say McTominay call a team my friend a Napoli or born home and or Chelsea at least Nanko he more time at Manchester United and he's playing very, very well. Politano on the other hand, the battle with Abrante Fen Federico Di Marco Nonso, a battle I veteran from the left side of the attack of a team, your friend Napoli. But for me, Inter 4% who win this particular game. The 2 guys up front in Raspadori and then Abrante friend Romelu Lukaku and also Nico. So at least those are the guys to bang in the goals for Napoli. Into on defense, we should give a body check, give close range, making sure so be concentrated throughout the 90 minutes if Inter Milan want to win the league. Into a be will say Inter more Manico. General way a gamer. I don't think say Napoli be use to game way at the back to the race because Inter baby Omeduno. Simeone Inzaghi knows how to manage everything at this particular time, and only at the me expect say Inter ebeye. Make a double chance Inter Milan in this particular game, whether a win or draw for Inter in this particular game. AC Milan fans na Comiliano, and omote bana akwakobo say red carpet for na omoye partners of our team no. The American Investment Group no omonko. Na omon sem fata say omona ebetimi ababehwe team no so amane ebetimi akoyi all because things are not well. Thursday, Yaumulusu to Bologna, 7th on the league table, with all the purchases and the quality of my Sambono. Still, a Nieman Koyim from my friend AC Milan. Into almost Omon Sem Fata. And I'm a catcher players, and I say, when you're the Milan of Savic, the Milan of Daniel Massaro, the Milan of Ruud Gullit, Carlo Ancelotti, and then Marco van Basten. Say, boss, say no more and come on, mamma, too. I'm more mamma, both fitri ball, say. There's so much pressure on Milan so money Lazio ebo a game ebeba, and you expect sa demonstrating is because so it will game money Lazio bebono. Lazio so on and off, but at least a better place on the league table than team your friend AC Milan. Milan will quality baby, but Sergio Consensa and team in fine near Juma. If you look at the option that they have as compared to Lazio, a few players are Omuko beat teams or man team put them together. And I do know almost so yeah who want to share the likes of Nuno Tavares, she'll beat Alessio Romagnoli, she'll beat the Mario Gela. Marusic has been part of the Lazio for a long time. You can Geoffrey Gondozi in attack. You are talking about Obi Etise Buledia, Okan Zakani. These Isaacson, these are guys I won't expect it so much from. Anka how many AC Milan about with Liao, Christian Pulisic, now Oche Joao Felix, Oche Santiago Jimenez, any players at Milan, especially in attack and their midfielder, and can easy game. But trust Lazio says you almost bet me a pick a point from this particular game. Spain is so tight. Now Spain is so tight now. Real Madrid a room or Benito Villamarin. And then Real Betis, informed Real Betis, Akwakusi Akan, Ewoho. The good news for Real Betis, they say, Anthony red card now overturned, so he will be available for this particular game. Now, if you coach your friend, Emmanuel Pellegrini, 7th on the league table for Real Betis, at least almost so a yard there. But the advantage that Real Madrid want to say, 5 years, the Omunko Sevilla and Colusuda. Inti Madrid will that believe in, they say, Omu the city of Sevilla no, against Real Betis, no. BB. So Madrid team now. Fede Valverde any fully fit, so it's likely say Obama see out for this particular game. Mbappe will be back. Mbappe may see game no boy against Sociedad. The Copa del Rey. So Mbappe will be back for this particular game. Apart from Omo, Obia done this a buyout on Swepra. For some months until Alonso not available. Open game we now say she game basso. Midweek and I say Tuesday, Wednesday in the UEFA Champions League. So Ekobasa am divided attention. But that would not stop Carlo Ancelotti so be parody the guys no. Jude Bellingham would not be available. And again, surprise never saw about Luka Modric because the last game against Girona, it was Luka Modric who dictated the pace and the tempo for team Ayefreno, Real Madrid. Into one will be a Barbashano. Now when Madrid the Baba, apart from some difference in the corner, now here Cucho Hernandez. For Jesus Rodriguez, Isco, and then Abrantia friend Anthony. That is the front four of team my friend Real Betis. Omuna Ababeshomo with their double pivot. But baby, I was an open green man, guys in the new corner say, Omo backline. Baby, Omo the Senegalese Yusuf Sabali, Omo Abrantia, your friend Ricardo Rodriguez, the Swiss international, and the two Spanish guys in Diego Llorente and Abrantia friend Mark Batra. Sa back four no, and there was a general Omo money call. With Abrantia, your friend Adrian Miguel imposed. And when the baby also more money because of the front four of Tima, your friend Real Madrid. Madrid difference in there, only say they will concede. With look at Vasquez back in the crowd. A just a right side was still a kind of anti Abrantia obey operating from that particular side, Abrantia friend Jesus. Rodriguez from the left. Until I was saying new co-op because a honey the weakest link for Madrid. Mendy will be back, but Asensio and then Rudiger back, at least will add a certain bite to the back line. At least any Abaho, which are many back in the midfield. Okay, the last 2 games were improving immensely in midfield with Luka Modric and the front four now. Rodrigo and then Jude will be absent. Rodrigo Mbappe and Vinicius Junior. And Diego Llorente and the Mark Batra were Jumae. One was steady Madrid and this team affair Betis game be our Villa Marino at a match of goals. It was the first one at Barcelona. Madrid had 2 goals. Was Santiago Bernabeu Montimiante. But in Pempins, was Sabino, who tell say games I will be at try say obetimi ashe. And a win for Madrid, both teams to score 2-1 and a make for Real Madrid in that particular game. Barcelona born against Sociedad. Now, team almost share Barcelona the first round of the season. You are talking about Sociedad. Almost share Barcelona by a goal to nil in that particular game at Barca. And it was a game. Hansi Flick has lose 2-3 in the first round. It was a game who be able to say, so only pass a bona money a dinka crebia. at least obetimi anya bibi from that particular game. Into what okay Avan Zubelda and then Nayafa Gueno, some match Omu Yirimu pa with Johan Lopez, Omu Yirim and Aramburu from the right side. That is the back line of team. Zubimendi just in front of them. But one area was about some more money koro Tefikusa Kubo. Because I do team in our back on the nim, a bit contem, a bit move to the left, to the right, a bit direct play, no, especially in the attacking player. It is going to be Kubu. A honey baby, also here. And Pablo Maron, ebe supporto, Abrante Ayefreno, Zubimendi, with Sergio Gomez on the left. And the team no, 4-1-4-1, rotating no 4-3-3 triangle in midfield. A honey baby also Basako. But again, you ask yourself, Avan Zubelda were experienced in the Spanish La Liga, but so much about the team now. The first thing that you need to do, and it says Zubimendi best stop Pedri from midfield. Frankie Dion pick kakra into Jumani Bayadin because two guys not technically are on top and it is difficult to stop them in midfield. Oh, we are Rafinha last 2 games on share. Yamal creative but goes ya night. Lewandowski is still bonetti, but I'll make sure says go king on a bit me into again. Bass attack and see a very sharp and say, oh shy, you make sure you work to stop that attack of a team friend Barcelona. But you know, at the Mundi Olympic Stadium, and also a game I make up for FC Barcelona win. My last game I made sure Manchester United against Fulham. It was FA Cup round game na Barcelona. Manchester City game no the game will be you expect them so move team clear head and not coming. My United Fulham. United my at least the be expect United Debema in the last game boy and with them 1 man down. Still, Manchester United again switch. Any team can see a beer there. But at least who is such almost a hand for Kakra. But with 1 man down, United came back. 8 maybe winning by 3 goals to 2. Omuni Fulham, so shared league the end bus. No more Cravian Cottage could share Fulham by a goal to them. It wasn't a dominant Manchester United team. But at least with a high level of confidence or more bono, Ubemusa at least and Yama Asaka in the last game or more boy. Fulham Andres Pereira is back. And so actually almost Marcos was switching from Robinson, Kevin Bassey, Issa Diop, Tete back 4 no, to a 3-backer. The last game of boy no, or Benchi Abranti FN, Kevin Bassey Benchi, Abranti FN Robinson. And that was tough for Fulham. But at least, Osha Omu team now, Sergi Bed, Sasa Lukic, Osha Andres Pereira, and then Adam Atrori, and in that front, or Rodrigo Munez, or Abranti FN, Jamines. Free Wolverhampton Bayern into a lot of options whether so Chico back 4 and also stick it to the back 3 or a lot of options to beat me to choose from. For Manchester United, obi any more problem. Defensively, weak, but at least Maguire the goals now all channel Katani weakness and also. And I feel that Oshe Gamer and as a branch your friend, Matia Delete said you from Ajax to Juventus to Bayern Munich, still our defensively looking to one team in Shari. It is still our defender who's a bread, but in attack, na Man United no problem. No. Rasmus Holland and then Joshua Zexi still find it very difficult to score against weaker opposition. It is only defense more than Kakrea United bread because goals now by midfield and defenders and so. A game Fulham for Belgium because I do Fulham net team Obeka or Mobile Premier League into Omoko bench other players ahead. Almost opportunity in any. They will give United a good run for their money. But I think Sir Robin Amorin, Adeba call by oh yeah, and even bring home. They say even so come teaching a knockout and what they was slow. Share Europa and look at this FA Cup as well. Into a game that I think United will struggle. But say you know, Nama United to me I say it too.
Wow. Matches nina and the KERM. Akabom tichu investors no. Mobenya bibi na bia weekendi mwanya nkwan kakra asa Kessben television Kessben 93.3 Kessben 92.9 we a final whistle jumadi ya memi ndabia ya de ebro
General.
yes sir
Papa your friend Jimmy Carragher nensem no Jimmy na first of all I want to say as a Nigeria for no I'm getting impressed with how the Nigerian guys edema back to back to Jimmy Carragher. Metie JJ Okocha, metie John Mikel Obi, and pay Tony Ama metie Amadou Panic.
Yeah.
And some more country Jimmy Carragher. First of all, for the starters, they see and they say, you know, Jimmy Carragher, former Liverpool legend, now a pundit. And no more bisa and say, Mo Salah, no more discuss, say, Mo Salah form ye kitani ni boa or bonidia. And who be here say, Ballon d'Or, no, you be consider na, organic for Ballon d'Or, now be to me aji Ballon d'Or. Nititi, I think the other guy said, say, Otumini Egypt, it was with J Afcon. I say, Mo Salah, Otumi J Ballon d'Or. And Jimmy Carragher say, winning the Afcon, no, ain't me winning Mo Salah Ballon d'Or. I just want a major trophy. Na I think sending same ni no. Nia ama ashenkrophone ni titru Africans. I be brave kasa in the social media and all that. I just want a major trophy. In that contest, clear. Say we peer Afcon every day, friend a major trophy no emu. Now we are trying to discuss say we should send a fee for the football buy and send a watching footballer. We World Cup the continental trophies that is in our part of the world, African Cup of Nations title is a major trophy.
Yeah.
But General, having said that, say would they not some of the two on for example, for me, so can it be so or we need a year African Cup of Nations now, and enough so bet me a and I wouldn't have a problem. But when he says winning it will not win him the trophy, it will not win him the Ballon d'Or, I just say a major trophy. And not any baby I feel say we should be furious enough and let Carragher know say he can't disrespect our title, the most prestigious trophy on the continent of Africa, competed for by about 54 nations. On to me disrespecting it that way. But no crap pie and so they say, one no here Ballon d'Or, no, one or two abano, and bia. One value African Cup of Nations, nana. How many players and are selling big time at the AFCON? Now, when you have the chance to be even on the podium of Ballon d'Or. Because will be a big Ballon d'Or podium, this one, make a first, second, third. In the history of this continent of ours, only 2 players and Afro Ballon d'Or podium, no. Notwithstanding some exceptional performances, a good number of African players they are in Europe and even in Ballon d'Or. General, is it not strange? Say Obi to say Didier Drogba on Fubida, Obi to say Samuel Eto'o for what he has done at African Cup of Nations tournament, and sometimes coincided with an equally good performance at the club level.
Yeah.
Yet Eto'o and Klein Bay, Ballon d'Or podium. You talk about Yaya Toure, JJ Okocha, name them. Mo Salah himself, Lucas Radebe. These guys at a point in time, AFCON is so Juma. Yet, se podium first, second, third, Debbie. It is only George Opomanria and Sadio Mane and Afro Ballon d'Or podium no. And Obiani may common knowledge. In 1995, when George Opomanria won Ballon d'Or, no, he didn't do so because of his exploits for the national team and answer for African Cup of Nations, or winning because of the exploits with AC Milan in the Champions League, Serie A, and all that. The only player Mekase in a way, the performance at the AFCON, contributed to the chance to be on the podium was Sadio Mane. When Olidi, the Teranga Lions of Senegal, in 2021, Edo Senegal Geom African Cup of Nations for the first time. That year, he has had an excellent super performance with Liverpool. And in that final against Egypt, or no about the final penalty they to net. In fact, a lot of people believed, said that game, said called the way of Egypt, and a Mo Salah, and a Mo Salah and a Bewo podium. So for me, the African Cup of Nations performance in 2021 contributed to Sadio Mane's chance I will decline big podium. But who beside who say in all these years, for all the African footballers have done, Omunya a chance enura Ballon d'Or podium, let alone winning it. And you now need Jamie Carragher Jia Drain say, one or two abano. On share for performance or African Cup of Nations. Otherwise, Obiti say Samuel Eto'o feels beba African Cup of Nations. In my Aji Gokin yet it doesn't come in, even into the first three. Into now I can say the mentality I drink pay woman say hey I dare no Europeans there. Na se be wiase nyina be so mu no e no mu die nyina bata ho ba de no mu ye pa ne de e yo mu kromofo no e ne South Americans by virtue of their super talent any bebresa ba Europe ntemunti omu nso anya kwan awuram. But general, ask yourself, how is the Ballon d'Or voted for? National team captains and national team coaches and a toaba who wiase footballer Africa and Europe and the world do I think around 54 or thereabout. Into the African voters nankasa, do they value performances given by African players at AFCON? Because any ankasa ya hono yen fa ye toama yen African brothers are o my sell or AFCON enke bia ye vote ni bebre binti no enka we will get close. Enti no kre pa ewom ene say AFCON no omo to abayi Ballon d'Or no omo nhye da nhwe omo value AFCON no kese hwe Rodri de na no na me ne andi debate Euro Championship ni modern ma boy okoji Euro best and a more the World Cup Ballon d'Or no ekoma you but senko bi beji African best or African Cup of Nations sure. You won't get close. So the reality, the truth is that winning the AFCON and shut them contribute to big time in your chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. But you could have said that without denigrating the African Cup of Nations by saying that it's not a major tournament. And me, for that statement alone, I support Obi Awoka say Jimmy Carragher has been rude, he's been disrespectful to our prestigious tournament, and I think we are not even piling sufficient pressure on him. I see a man of bigger pressure for him to withdraw that statement.
Truth. I want seminar or Kanumba presentation now.
Yes, the facts on the ground. That's supporting us now. Okay. The facts and say players are selling big time AFCON now. I'm make close. Into no tournament, I'll do Ballon d'Or. It be others will become.
Wow.
Mosala, original, or the same Sadio Mane be the second. What had Benzema done for his national team? Into club football, European football now. When Benzema came ahead of him. So he had a point. But he could have made his point without disrespecting the African Cup of Nations by considering it a minor tone.
They were ex-footballers or African and journalists. On one casa in you Ferdinand no see the Sudan.
But general, no Ghanaian footballer has spoken.
Oh, so okay.
Oh, yeah.
They
should also make a point. And then you don't even need to be called.
Okay.
You get to the social media. You see, they should make.
You have a point, yes.
Sometimes, FIFA friend confirm mama be we na. Why we kromure be few? Asamoah na wako 20. What give it to him? Na Stephen Apia waba. John Mensah Munye. So you should also let JJ Okocha, Mikel Obi, name them. Makelese Shebebi Mpeno. El Haji Diop.
Samuel Seko.
Look at Samuel Seko. Wako drew Germany for the Pedro William. Same Monka bi bencheno.
Oh, that's a issue be by so.
Issue bad. Until I make us say they should be made to be heard.
JJ Okocha, Mikel Obi has always been in the news. El Haji Diop is no exception. But here in Crawford, you know, they are always quiet.
Did you coach a crowd? A small kind of crowd, the manager. Also, one Colabena, you know, your friend Jimmy Carragher.
It is your friend Jimmy Carragher.
Do you have Uti Carragher? What do you say? Cobranda, ketchup.
Or Mahro, papa.
Those players were players who played with him.
You're for any boy, Anna.
You're for the boy.
I call Blackman.
You're for them for the back. Salif Diao. I'm on the boy.
But Ghanaian legends are not talking. Where are they? General.
But silence, baby. I want baby. I mean, Tiasene Abedi Pele. Our maestro. A 3-time African footballer
Maestro,
of the year.
Quiet and
Maestro Nkasa. Why? anaso be kasape amanfo be ayifo no say imu achetu ye goal fashion ne abedi fashion no ndi ye goal ankasa no so nkasa the goal de uma no about the bagura
ye goal de uma
but abedi pele we respect him so much.
Maestro
To say respect ye de ma abedi no obia huna I don't know nipa punya
na senya kotokofo ko ya no ni na ni etwi no say Maestro is massive.
Enti abedi din de ana obi na no kan one word ebe kotisi petrol ni ayi no abedi no ayi din dodo Maestro why
say Martin dia this enkra abedi Pele Street no go from kakra bi
na na training no
Maestro should speak.
Abedi we love you so much
Wa me say you see now, even all players in the crowd come baby or
Gobi.
He lives in his own world.
Ompero kasa.
Maestro.
Obi na no.
Same way that Maestro didn't know.
You see baby obi abeti.
Because look at around 92 thereabout. They know here with Africa national team in Marseille. Around that time, he should have been a contender.
If you be the one for no to within seconds, the whole world will be able to.
Look at what he did in Senegal 92, coupled with near Oberwini African Cup of Nations. You know. Around that time, he was one of the best on the in the world. And Kabia first three, and yes, disrespect to Modema Afcon there, and Kibia and Kabedi Pele would have also been and Crawford a castle of my climb.
Some say yes, Maestro no.
Maestro should speak.
Yes, I on for an untum kakra. This is Bibia no because of the but issues of this nature on for an untum kakra.
Baby just Hanum ni here.
Yes.
Aza, na say no warrant abro so. I say here.
Baby just baby na enye ya dwi ni ho bebre na fe wo si time ho sa. Na wo si time ho. Baby e wo hia ne ntonka.
Aye ha no mo kasa no mo nyedu. Omo mo odu ni nkasa.
Yes.
Yeah, Hano.
One ex-player, Kasa, and so Kasa, a former goal striker.
Okay, not him.
But at this level, no, a light.
Yes, or a light.
Dejo Kucha, no, Mikel Obinum, I am for a very light. Yes, yes, that's one Kasa. But you know, be a hand to go on to my own respect. No, never be able. Oh, nan sem say na be the way you are no hum kakra. No. Yes, I to nka bi ma e bia na. Bako ne se bibia na do ko tu.
Cassette e come teaching any.
Yes. Bibia na do no ko tu.
This one come teach na make ya.
Bibi say na nka do no tu kakra ma.
Go cha say no dey na know what you.
You bunu too much.
Na njeje kasa uni hwia obeka. Football na kasa no kasa football kasa.
Jeje kasa football
kasa ntu ntimi nka hwe.
Okay. Mami ko awal Muhammad